Title: A Distributed Autonomous Community Approach in Protestant Churches, the Connection Between Individual Faith Experience and Community Unity and Growth. Summary: This paper examines the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches. This approach emphasizes the collaboration of individual faith experience and community, and pursues the unity and growth of the entire community while respecting the faith and spiritual growth of individual congregations. With reference to biblical teachings and the practices of the early church, contemporary Protestant churches emphasize an attitude in which congregations encourage each other, learn together, and grow together through dialogue and joint activities. This paper will detail the theoretical foundations and practical development of the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches, while relating it to various biblical passages and principles. Introduction. The decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches is an important element that links the faith experience of the individual with the unity and growth of the community. In contemporary Protestant churches, the emphasis is on the autonomy of the congregation itself and the collaboration of the community rather than domination by a centralized leader or organization. This paper will show that this approach can be related to biblical teachings and practices of the early church, and will discuss the decentralized autonomous community approach as a method for strengthening community unity and growth in Protestant churches. 1. Theoretical foundations of the distributed autonomous community approach in Protestant churches. 1.1 Relationship between individual faith experience and community unity and growth. In the decentralized autonomous community approach, the faith experience of the individual is closely related to the unity and growth of the community. The individual believer focuses on his or her own faith experience and through that experience deepens his or her relationship with God. This personal faith experience contributes to the unity and growth of the entire community. Community unity is a state of interconnectedness in which congregations have common values and goals that form the basis of their faith. In a decentralized autonomous community, the faith experience of individuals is an important factor in the unity of the community. When individuals share their own faith experiences and learn and grow together with other believers through dialogue and exchange, the unity of the entire community is enhanced. Individual faith experiences also contribute to the growth of the community. As individual believers deepen their relationship with God and grow spiritually, the community as a whole becomes more mature and enriched in its faith life. The growth of the individual leads to the growth of the community, and conversely, the growth of the community promotes the growth of the individual, creating an interaction. 1.2 Relevance to biblical teaching. The decentralized autonomous community approach in the Protestant Church is closely related to biblical teaching. The Bible is the foundation of the Protestant Church's faith and provides guidance on the nature of the community and how the congregation should interact. The decentralized autonomous community approach seeks unity of community by forming relationships among believers based on biblical teachings. The Bible contains many teachings about the unity and interrelationship of faith communities. For example, passages in the book of Acts and the letter to the Corinthians teach the importance of community unity and cooperation. In Acts, the practice of the early church is described, and the elements that support the unity and growth of community are made explicit. The congregation gathered as a community to study together, pray together, eat together, and share property, Acts chapter 2 verses 42 to 47. This practice of community is the foundation of the decentralized autonomous community approach. The concept of the body of community is also described in chapter 12 of the letter to the Corinthians. This chapter emphasizes that while the community is one body, individual believers with different roles and gifts are bound together. Just as the eye needs the hand and the hand needs the foot, they are to complement each other and function in cooperation within the community. These biblical teachings provide the theoretical foundation for the decentralized autonomous community approach in the Protestant Church. The importance of community ties and cooperation is taught on the basis of biblical teachings, and the practices of the early church are provided as concrete models. Drawing on these teachings, contemporary Protestant churches pursue an approach that links the faith experience of the individual with the unity and growth of the community. 1.3 Relevance to early church practice. One of the theoretical foundations of the decentralized autonomous community approach in the Protestant Church is its relevance to the practice of the early Church. The early Church, founded by the Apostles, is an important model of what early Christian communities were like. Its practices have greatly influenced the decentralized autonomous community approach of the Protestant churches. According to the account in the Acts of the Apostles, the congregations of the early church established communal ties, learning together, praying together, eating together, sharing property, and supporting the growth of the community. Acts chapter 2 verses 42 to 47. They facilitated individual faith experiences and spiritual growth through sharing and helping each other in the faith. The practice of the early church emphasized dialogue and joint activities among believers. They studied together, prayed together, and worshiped together. The different gifts and roles of individual believers were recognized and used for the unity and growth of the community. The early church also shared the resources and property of the community. Congregations brought their possessions and distributed them to those in need. This sharing of community resources became a practice to enhance the unity of the community and to meet each other's needs. The practice of the early church shows its relevance to the decentralized autonomous community approach in the Protestant Church. Contemporary Protestant churches also refer to the practices of the early church and emphasize the importance of congregations encouraging each other to grow together through dialogue and communal activities. The practices of the early church provide the foundation for a decentralized autonomous community approach through community ties, the use of gifts, and the sharing of resources. The practices of the early church demonstrate the importance of relationships and cooperation among congregations. They were bound together as a community to help each other and grow together. This cooperation and connection is also important in the decentralized autonomous community approach. In the early church, congregations utilized their gifts and roles for the benefit of the whole community. Congregations with different gifts complemented and worked together to enhance the unity of the community. This utilization of gifts and collaboration is also an important element in the decentralized autonomous community approach of the modern Protestant Church. In addition, the early church practiced sharing community resources and property. They brought their personal possessions and used them for the benefit of the community as a whole. This sharing of property enhanced the cohesiveness of the community and enabled it to maximize the use of its resources for common purposes. Even modern Protestant churches pursue communal unity and growth through the sharing of resources and communal financial support. As described above, the practice of the early church shows its relevance to the decentralized autonomous community approach in the Protestant Church. The emphasis on the unity and growth of the entire community, and the attitude of linking the faith experience of individual believers with the collaboration of the community, are lessons inherited from the practice of the early church. Modern Protestant churches, drawing on the practices of the early church, value the relationships among believers and seek to form a community that learns and grows together. 2. Practical development of the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches. 2.1 Importance of dialogue and joint activities. Dialogue and joint activity are key elements in the decentralized autonomous community approach. When congregations engage with each other on an equal footing, exchanging ideas and working together, the unity and growth of the community is promoted. Dialogue is the basis for congregations with different faith experiences and perspectives to understand each other and work together toward common goals. Communal activities, manifested in the form of worship, prayer, Bible study, and service, provide opportunities for congregations to participate and grow together. This allows individual congregations to deepen their own faith as well as promote the unity and growth of the community as a whole. 2.2 Promoting mutual encouragement and learning. The decentralized autonomous community approach emphasizes mutual encouragement and learning among congregations. The journey of faith is an individual journey, and each congregation has its own faith experience and spiritual guidance. However, deeper insights and growth are encouraged through mutual encouragement and support within the community. Congregations provide a forum for sharing and learning from each other, discussing biblical teachings and faith practices. The entire community also supports, prays together, and encourages each other when faced with difficulties and trials in the faith. Through mutual encouragement and learning from each other, the congregation is able to promote not only personal growth but also the growth of the community as a whole. 2.3 Supporting community growth and development. In the decentralized autonomous community approach, it is important to support the growth and development of the community. The growth and development of the community, which proceeds with the growth of the individual congregation, is an important goal in the decentralized autonomous community approach. To this end, the following elements are put into practice. First, the development of leadership within the community is important. The decentralized approach emphasizes the autonomy of the congregation itself rather than domination by a centralized leader or organization. Therefore, congregations need to be nurtured to take on leadership roles within the community. This will decentralize responsibility and contribution within the community and allow individual congregations to use their own gifts and leadership to support the growth of the community as a whole. It also provides opportunities for education and training. In order to promote community growth, congregations need to deepen their knowledge of biblical teachings and beliefs. Study halls and study groups will be formed within the community so that congregations can teach each other and develop a deeper understanding of each other. This will enrich the faithful knowledge and insights of the entire community and promote growth. In addition, service and mission activities are emphasized. Faith is manifested in practice, and the community is expected to put its faith into action. The community's raison d'etre is realized when the entire community participates in service and mission activities and responds to social needs. This allows the congregation to work together toward the community's purpose and to achieve growth and development. As described above, the practice of the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches emphasizes the importance of dialogue and joint activities, the promotion of mutual encouragement and learning, and the support of community growth and development. This links the individual faith experience with the unity and growth of the community, enabling the congregation to build a richer life of faith. The congregation grows in support of one another and the community as a whole becomes stronger and more united. Promoting community leadership, education, and service is essential to implementing this approach. Leadership development enables individual congregations to act autonomously and contribute to the direction and goals of the community. By providing education and training opportunities, congregations deepen their knowledge and insights about their faith and promote learning within the community. Through service and mission activities, congregations can also put their faith into practice and contribute to the development of the community and society. The decentralized autonomous community approach emphasizes individual congregations' proactive participation and growth in their relationship with the community. This allows the congregation to achieve unity and growth as a whole community while valuing each individual's faith experience. This approach is also relevant to the practices and biblical teachings of the early church. In the early church, communal unity and mutual support were emphasized, and the congregation practiced their faith together and grew as a whole community. Similarly, biblical teachings serve as the foundation of the faith of the congregation and play an important role in guiding the life and practice of the community. The decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches has both a theoretical foundation and a practical development that strengthens the relationship between individuals and the community to deepen and grow in faith together. Through this approach, congregations will be able to live a more fulfilling life of faith and fulfill their mission as a community. 3. Effectiveness and challenges of the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches. 3.1 Improvement of individual faith experience and community unity and growth. The decentralized autonomous community approach has the effect of contributing to the improvement of individual faith experience and the unity and growth of the community. This approach allows individual believers to value and deepen their own faith experience. Individual faith experiences contribute to the richness and diversity of the community as a whole, and through dialogue and exchange with other believers, we can understand and respect each other's faith. It also promotes community unity and growth. Congregations can interact, encourage each other, learn and grow together through joint activities and gatherings. Community unity strengthens the unity of faith and creates the power for the congregation to work together to realize God's work. The growth of the community means that the congregation matures while supporting one another, and the community as a whole functions as a healthier body. 3.2 Dealing with the risk of individualism and division. On the other hand, there is a risk of individualism and schism in the decentralized autonomous community approach. Stronger individualism may lead to individual congregations becoming more self-centered and less involved with the community. An overly decentralized approach could also lead to disagreements and divisions within the community. Balance is the key to addressing these risks. It is necessary to respect the faith experience of individuals while at the same time valuing the unity and involvement of the community. The role of leadership is important to promote community unity and prevent disagreements and divisions. The leadership role is to clarify the vision and goals of the community and to guide the congregation to work together toward a common goal. 3.3 Importance of the role and balance of the leader. The importance of the role and balance of leadership is integral to the decentralized autonomous community approach in the Protestant Church. Leaders play a role in promoting unity and oneness in the community and help the community as a whole grow and develop. On the other hand, it is undesirable for the leadership to have too much centralized power and to suppress individual faith experiences and personal growth. In a decentralized autonomous community approach, leaders need to be part of the community and support the autonomy of the congregation while respecting it. Leaders articulate the community's vision and inspire the congregation's shared goals and values. They also serve to promote community cohesion and teach from the biblical teachings that ground the faith. However, it is important that leaders do not make decisions unilaterally, but rather through dialogue and cooperation with the congregation to arrive at joint decisions. The importance of balance is to ensure that leaders do not abuse their power or fall into domination. Leaders need to be humble and flexible and consider the interests of the whole community while respecting the opinions and contributions of the congregation. A decentralized autonomous community approach works more soundly when trust is built between leaders and congregations and when they complement each other. Effective leaders have the ability to respect and balance individual faith experiences and growth while maintaining the unity of the community. They must articulate the vision and goals of the community and create an environment in which the congregation can exercise its own gifts and contribute to the development of the community as a whole. 4. Conclusion. 4.1 Importance and effectiveness of the distributed autonomous community approach in Protestant churches. The decentralized autonomous community approach plays an important role in the Protestant Church and has a variety of effects. First, this approach promotes the faith experience of the individual and the unity and growth of the community. When individual faith experiences are respected and shared, congregations can understand each other's faith and strengthen their ties to the community as a whole. In addition, sharing, encouraging, and learning from each other's faith through joint activities and dialogue promotes the growth of the community as a whole. Furthermore, the decentralized autonomous community approach creates diversity and flexibility. Each individual has different gifts and talents, and when these are brought to bear within the community, a richer community is formed. The contributions of individual congregations are respected, and the community as a whole is more receptive and flexible to diversity, thereby improving its ability to adapt to changing society and circumstances. In addition, the decentralized autonomous community approach increases the involvement and responsibility of the congregation. Congregations are expected to actively participate in the growth of their own faith and community and to serve with their gifts. This increased involvement and responsibility will lead to community vitality and development. 4.2 Future prospects and challenges. While the decentralized autonomous community approach is beneficial, several challenges exist. First, a balanced leadership must be established. Leaders need to play a role in promoting community cohesion and supporting individual growth and community development. However, if leaders have overly centralized power, autonomy and diversity may be curtailed. It is important to maintain a balance between the leadership and the congregation to clarify the community's vision and guide joint decisions. The importance of communication and cooperation should also be recognized in a decentralized autonomous community approach. Congregations interact with each other and share ideas and information to enhance the unity of the community. In addition, cooperation in joint projects and service activities will facilitate efforts to achieve community goals. The challenge is the risk of individualism and division. Increased individualism can diminish the bonds of community, and individual interests and opinions can take precedence. This may hinder the unity of the community and the achievement of its goals. In addition, when different opinions and values exist, a process of dialogue and compromise is necessary. Looking ahead, the decentralized autonomous community approach should be strengthened to promote the involvement and growth of the congregations within the community. In addition, there is a need to strengthen elements that contribute to the healthy functioning of the community, such as leadership development, enhanced communication, and responsiveness to diversity. Overall, a decentralized autonomous community approach is beneficial in Protestant churches, promoting individual faith experience and community unity and growth. However, there is a need for balance and communication between leaders and congregations, as well as addressing the risks of individualism and division. In the future, it will be important to improve these elements in order to develop and achieve the goals of the community as a whole. Conclusion. This paper has examined the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches from the perspective of emphasizing the connection between individual faith experience and the unity and growth of the community. With reference to biblical teachings and the practices of the early church, contemporary Protestant churches emphasize an attitude in which congregations encourage each other, learn together, and grow together through dialogue and joint activities. The decentralized autonomous community approach is an effective method of promoting community unity and growth while respecting individual faith experiences, and is expected to play an important role in the future development of Protestant churches. However, the risk of individualism and division must be addressed, and the importance of leadership roles and balance must also be recognized. Looking ahead, efforts should be made to develop guidance and educational programs to implement the decentralized autonomous community approach in more concrete ways, to promote cooperation and collaboration among congregations, and to further community growth and development. In conclusion of this paper, it is clear that the decentralized autonomous community approach in Protestant churches is an important element in linking the faith experience of the individual with the unity and growth of the community. This approach, based on biblical teachings and the practices of the early church, encourages congregations to encourage and learn from each other through dialogue and joint activities, and promotes the maturity and development of the whole community in contemporary Protestant churches. However, challenges also exist, such as combating the risk of individualism and division and ensuring the role and balance of leadership. In the future, it will be necessary to address these challenges and develop the decentralized autonomous community approach in more concrete ways.